कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय हरये परमात्मने प्रणतः क्लेशनाशाय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। नमः सर्वेभ्यः। In this recording we are going to see about the Upanishad part, also the Vedangas. In the previous recordings we have seen all the Vedas, the four Vedas, the history behind the four Vedas, how the Veda was divided into four by Krishna Dvaipayana. That is Vedavyasa Maharishi as Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda and Atharvana Veda, what each Veda dealing with, and what are the four parts of Vedas, then who are all the four priests are implementing as per the Veda Vihita Karmanushtanas, then how to perform, and all those guidelines we have seen. And this video we are going to see about the Vedangas. There the fourth part of Upanishad. Let us discuss about the fourth part of the Vedas. The Upanishad, which gives us the Adhyatma Vidya, Adhyatmika Jnanam. Upanishad is the last one, the last part of the Veda, which is at the end part of the Vedas. That's why it is known as the Vedantam. So Upanishad helps us to understand the Atma Jnanam, which is the Tattva Jnanam. The Upanishad helps us to know about the secrets of the soul, also to understand about the Supreme Soul. To gain such knowledge, Adhyatma Vidya, this Upanishad helps us. This Upanishad, Upanishadyate Prapyate Brahma Vidya Anaya iti Upanishad. By learning the fourth part of the Veda, all the Vedas which gives us, which is the source of the knowledge, also gives us the knowledge of the Purushartha Chatushtayam, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. The Moksha is the last one, which is the salvation. Jnanat Ritena Mukti. So now without knowledge one can't get the salvation, that Mukti. So the knowledge, to gain the knowledge, which knowledge? Atma Jnanam. For that Atma Jnanam and Brahma Jnanam, this Upanishad helps us. All the Upanishad Vakyas are taking us towards the wisdom. That is the supreme knowledge. Who is the supreme knowledge? Is the God is the supreme knowledge. To know about the Atma Jnanam, all other Jnanams are helping us in this materialistic world to survive, to gain. All other Jnanams helps us. Only the Atma Jnanam helps beyond our life, where we need to go, which is the supreme destination, which can give us the Paramanandam, the extreme ecstasy. Only the Paramatma. Paramatma can give such extreme ecstasy, Paramanandam. That's why Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Jnanam, knowledge is wisdom. We say no, knowledge is much more. Knowledge is everything. So this Upanishad helps us to gain such knowledge of Brahman, who is the Brahma. So Vedanta Shastram, that known as the Vedanta Shastram, among the Shad Darshanas, Astika Darshanas, Purvamimamsa and Uttaramimamsa, there the Purvamimamsa completely deals with the Vidhivakyam on all the Vedas, how to perform Veda Vihita Yagas, those Anushtanams, then what is the Vidhi, the rule, everything it tells about the Dharma Shastram. But Uttaramimamsa, which is known as the Vedanta Shastram, Mathato Brahma Jignasa, who is called as Brahma. Brahma, it is Upanishad helps us. All the Upanishad Vakyas are the Pramanam for the Supreme Being. How we can understand about the Supreme Being means that the Upanishad helps us to understand. Avidyaya mrityum tirtva vidyaya amritam ashnute. That vidya, avidya is there. When avidya completely gets away, then such knowledge we can get. So many discussions are there as per the darshanas. Let us discuss about how many Upanishads are important. Many Upanishads are there. As we have listed out in each Veda, the Upanishad Bhaga, Aitareya Upanishad, Kaushidaki Upanishad, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Mandukya Upanishad. Likely we discussed each Veda, two Upanishads or three Upanishads are there, likely. Totally 10 Upanishads which are very popular and very important to know about that Brahma Vidya. Tatra Chaturnam Vedanam Ashiti Sahita Shatadhika Sahasra Sankyaka Upanishada. 1180 Upanishads are there which belong to all these 4 Vedas, Rik, Yajus, Sama, Atharvana Vedas. How many Vedas, how many Upanishads belong to Rik Veda? Means Richa Eka Vimshatihi. Eka Vimshatihi, 21 Upanishads are there which belong to Rik Veda. But what we have seen? Only 2 Upanishads. Yadushaha Navadhika Shatam, Samnas Sahasram, 1000 Upanishads are there. Panchashat Upanishadaha Atharvanasya, 50 Upanishads belong to Atharvana Veda. So totally 1180 Upanishads are there. Among those 1180 Upanishads, 10 Upanishads are widely accepted by all the scholars which help to know about the Brahma Vidya and very popular in the Vedanta discussions. In the Vedanta Darshana, during the Vakyartha, Upanishad Vakyam, that only they used to take as the proof. So most of the Vicharas and most of the references are taken from these Upanishads. So these 10 Upanishads become very popular. The Upanishads can be called as a Jnana Kanda of the Vedas, which gives the Adhyatma Jnanam to us. They describe the nature of Brahman. Brahma is in which Akara, which Swarupa. We can't even say which Akara. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Supreme knowledge, supreme bliss. Supreme is a ecstasy. No, supreme bliss, supreme truth. He is the knowledge, he is the Brahma. So many discussions are there in the Vedanta Shastra regarding the Brahman. The figure of the Supreme Spirit Brahman exists in the Upanishads. So through the Upanishad we can understand the Swarupa of Brahma. Apparently the Upanishads are the explanations of the mantras, but they are concerned more with the allegorical significations and the mystic meanings of the tattvas or essence of the origin of life, the world, the soul, God, etc. So what mostly all these Upanishads are discussing about means, who am I? Then what this embodied soul is, what kind of soul that is? Then whether the body and the soul, is there any connection? The distinction between body, mind and soul. Who is Jivatma? Who is Paramatma? What is Samsara? Why a Jiva is getting sufferings, all the sufferings in this Samsarika Jagat, in this Samsara. Then which makes this embodied soul completely to stay in the cycle chain of birth and death. Why it is completely trapped. So as the Gita also discussing a lot about this, but particularly all the Upanishads are having the meanings of all the tattvas, and it tells about what is called as the life, what kind of the world this is, and what is soul and who is the God. It shows us, it gives us the knowledge of Adhyatma Jnanam. The Upanishads are the basis of the Shad Darshanas, the 6 systems of philosophy. There are a large number of Upanishads. The most important among them are 108 in number. 108 Upanishads are there. Among the 108 Upanishads, the following are considered significant. So, Shad Darshanas, there are Shad Astika Darshanani, Nastika Darshanani. Among the Astika Darshanani, there Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Sankhya, Yoga, Purvamimamsa and Uttaramimamsa. There the Uttaramimamsa we can find that Vedanta Shastram which deals with lot of the Upanishad Vakyas. In its discussion we can understand many Upanishads quotations are available in the discussions of Vedanta Shastra. There the 10 Upanishads are very popular. Ishake nakatha prashna mundamandukya tittirihi aitareyam cha chandogyam brihadaranyakam tatha. 10 popular Upanishads. Isha, Kena, Katha, Prashna, Munda, Mandukya, Tittirihi, Aitareyam, Chandokyam, Brihadaranyakam. Which means Ishopanishad, Kenopanishad, Kathopanishad, Prashnopanishad. Likely we need to understand totally 10 popular Upanishads are there. So many quotations, many references we can find which helps us to understand about the Atma, understand about the Paramatma, the differences between Jivatma and Paramatma according to the each systems, each beliefs of the three matams, Matatrayam, Dvaita, Advaita, Visishtadvaitam. Accordingly we can understand about the Atma, Atma Swarupam. The Upanishads helps us. Upanishads represent Jnana Kandam, performing the rites as described in the Karma Kandam. One can go to the heaven. Ejeta Swarga Kamaha Somalata Bhave Yagena Ishtam Bhavayet. One can make many Yaga Yajnas after performing, then Adrishtapalam he can go to the heaven after the death. But even going to the heaven also, there is again rebirth. He is supposed to come down and he need to get birth in this samsara again. So if one performs all the actions, also the sacrificial rites as described in the Karma Kandam of the Vedas, he will be not only gaining the materialistic luxuries, the pleasures, even after the death he can go to the heaven and he can aihika amushmika phalam also he will get in his life. But there is a rebirth. Even after going to the heaven, the rebirth is confirmed. Then a man who is putting his lot of effort to get out of the trap of the birth and the death in this chain, one is wishing to come out of it. What he is supposed to do? Means he is supposed to gain the knowledge. Through knowledge only one can gain the salvation. That salvation, to gain such knowledge, the Upanishads are helping. That's why it is known as the Jnana Kandam. So, as described in the Karma Kandam, if one performs all the sacrificial rites, he can go to the heaven, but he have to return to the earth after a definite time. But the Upanishads show the path of permanent bliss. The Paramanandam, the supreme bliss, which is permanent. In this materialistic world, nothing is permanent, everything is impermanent. But only permanent thing is the supreme bliss, that is the God. He is the permanent one. After death, the soul migrates into another body as a result of the acts done in the previous birth. If in this birth, if the embodied soul, while the jiva inside is there, if a man performs all kind of good deeds according to the merits, the punyam, what he gained, he will enjoy not only in this birth, even in upcoming janma also, according to his act, whichever he did, he will enjoy, whether it's a pleasure or pain. So, after the death, the soul, it will find the new body, migrate to the another body, and as a result of acts done in the previous birth. Means if he did the good deeds, good acts, punya karma, he will again get a birth in the human community. if he did all bad karmas, then the human birth will not come for the person. He may go like other creatures. So, based on the good deed which we perform, accordingly the upcoming birth comes. The soul migrates to such another body of the human. There also the many stages are there. Either he may become a poor or he may become a rich person. All happens because of the actions which he did in his previous janma. So Upanishad helps the soul to desist from this material happiness. In this janma, if we give much priority to all our materialistic pleasures, these pleasures will never let us to find out which is the supreme. It will always keep us to get all kind of pleasures keep on. So what will happen? Because of this ajnanam, we will keep on doing all kind of false mistakes. So because of the mistake, again jananam, maranam, it will happen. The Upanishads deal with the nature of the individual soul, the supreme soul and the world and their mutual relation. So Upanishad makes us to understand there is a connection between Jivatma and Paramatma, and this Jivatma supreme goal is to united with that Paramatma, but the embodied soul, though it tries a lot, it will never get away from this Maya world, because the three modes of Prakriti is the nature is there, Sattvam, Rajas, Tamas. So the three modes of Prakriti never let this embodied soul to get away from this Maya energy, completely get away, get out of this samsara and to go to unite with the Paramatma. But these three modes of Prakriti will never let this embodied soul, because Maya is there. Because of this Maya energy, there is a birth, again death, then birth and death keeps on repeating. So Upanishads makes us to realize this thing. Supreme soul, individual soul, supreme soul and the world and their mutual relation. The individual soul referred to as Atman and Jiva. The supreme soul is referred to as Brahman and Atman, Paramatman. The Upanishads do not condemn the observance of the rituals. So Upanishad says the Karma Kanda is not effective in achieving our supreme goal. It is not condemning. Upanishads are not condemning all those Karma Kanda works. It is our duty. We need to perform all those sacrificial rites. But we need to gain such knowledge of Brahman. They recognize the observance of obligatory rites as a preliminary step. If I do yaga yajnas, those are all the preliminary step to get the higher step of the knowledge, the jnanam, which alone would lead the soul to the final goal. So through knowledge only one can gain the salvation, and this performing all the sacrificial rites, yaga yajnas, this will give the confidence and give such knowledge, and it will be very helpful and a preliminary step to gain such higher knowledge. So we need to perform the Karma Kanda as well as we need to gain the Jnanam also. So Upanishads are helping us. So let us discuss. So all the four Vedas, the four parts of the Vedas, there particularly how many Upanishads which are very important and what Upanishads are teaching we have seen. Let's discuss about the Angas, Vedangas. So 6 Vedangas are there which are helping to understand the Vedas and Vedas meanings. So it is not that much easy to keep without the commentary or without the knowledge, the terminology and understanding the entire Veda. That's the toughest task. These Vedangas are helping to understand all the Veda mantras are also very simple manner. For that Vedanga supposed to be there. One supposed to get the knowledge of Vedanga so that it will be easy to understand the Veda Bhashyam. When the commentary of Vedas Ainacharya wrote, without the knowledge of the Vedangas, one can't understand the commentary of the Veda Bhashyam. So to know the meaning of all the Vedas, Vedangas are helping us. The study of Vedas along with their proper understanding, interpretation and the practical application of their principles in sacred rites led to the development of supplementary text known as the Vedanga. So how to understand? So proper understanding and right interpretation and its practical application of the principles which are available in the sacred rites, that only led us for the development of all these Vedangas. The auxiliary disciplines considered the 6 limbs of the Vedas. Vedangas, 6 limbs, totally 6. So these are all considered as the 6 limbs of the Vedas, support the effective study and practice of Vedic knowledge. So what are the Vedangas? Shiksha, Vyakaranam, Chandaha, Niruktam, Jyotisham, Tata, Kalpascheti, Shadangani, Vedasyahur, Manishinaha, Siksha. What is Siksha? Phonetics. So, phonetics, Siksha is a phonetics which is the part of a Veda Purusha is there. Shiksha Granantu Vedasya. It's a Granam. It's a nose. As nose helps us to smell the fragrance, to know all the Gandham. So, Granam helps us. So, likely for a Veda Purusha, the Siksha, the phonetics, so no understanding the entire phonetics available in the Vedas. So Vedas helps us, Siksha helps us to understand. So it's a part as a nose. And Vyakaranam, Siksha, Vyakaranam, Chandaha, Niruktam, Jyotisham, Kalpaha. There the Vyakaranam is a grammar. Grammar, that's a grammatical system made by the Panini Maharishi. So that is very important to understand all the Dhatu, Shabda, Prakriti, Pratyaya, all the things. The grammar helps us to understand. So, Mukham Vyakaranam Smritam for a Veda Purusha, Vyakaranam is like a mouth. Mukham Vyakaranam Smritam. Chandah Padautu Vedasa, there is a shloka, the Chandas, which is a meter. All the mantras in the Vedas are available in certain meters. Gayatri, Ushnika, Anushtupa, Brihati, Pankti, Trishtupa, Arya, Jagati, all meters are there. This as a limb, as a feet. Chandaha Padautu Vedasya. So the meters play important role. As Padyam Chadushpati, Tacha Vrittam Jatiriti Dvidha Vrittam Akshara Sankhyatam Jatihi Matra Grita Bhavet. So Padyam, so many Padyams are available in the Vedas also, but those are in certain meters. So understanding the meter, understanding the Vrittam of all the mantras, Chandas of all the mantras, this Chandas Shastram helps us. Then Niruktam is a etymology. Niruktam Shrotramuchyate, that stands as the ears. Kalpaha, ceremonial. All the rites, the samskaras, and all the sacrificial rites, how to perform, all the guidelines are available in the Kalpa Shastram. This Kalpa Sutram is there, which is one of the part of the Veda, Anga of the Veda. Then Kalpaha, Astah Kalpauta Pathyate. The Kalpa stands as the Hastam for a Veda Purusha. And Jyotisham is astronomy and astrology. Jyotisham Ayanam Chakshuhu. Jyotish stands as the eyes of the Veda Mata. To know about the planetary, then combinations, the movements, so everything based on how to perform those sacrificial rites. So Veda mantras are informing what are the Yaga Yajna supposed to be performed. But this Jyotisha Shastram instructs us at what time that must be performed. If Darshapurna Masa Yagam is there, Then Purna Chandraha, when it comes in a Purnamasyam Ideta, Purnamasyam means in the Purnima day, the full moon day. So those instructions as per the planetary positions, this Jyotisha Shastram helps us to perform such sacrificial rites. So these 6 angas of Vedas are very important for the proper understanding as well as the application of all the principles of the Vedas. Whichever Vedas are instructing us to perform, how to perform, then how to apply it. These angas are helps us. If any doubts arises, these 6 angas are there to give the right knowledge for the accomplishment of all the Veda Vihita Anushtanas. Let us see the shloka comes. Chandaf padau tu vedasya hastau kalpotha pathyate jyodishamayanam chakshuhu niruktam shrotramuchyate siksha ghranam tu vedasya mukham vyakaranam smritam tasmat sangamadhityaiva brahmaloke mahiyate. Tasmat sangamadhityaiva. If a Vedadhyayi is doing the adhyanam of a Veda, it doesn't end within the learning of the main text of the Vedas. It not stop there. A man supposed to, a chhatraha, a student, Vedadhyayi, supposed to learn all the Veda angas also. Vedangas also he need to perform, he need to understand, he need to learn, and Veda Bhasham also he is supposed to learn. So Vedangas are very important. Sangamadhityeva, that's why just mere learning of Veda, also a single Veda. If learning for complete adhyanam of a single Veda means Rigveda itself takes 8 years. Simultaneously, a student supposed to learn the sahithyam and kavyam and these angas, Vedangas, Upavedas, Chadurdasha Vidyasthanani are there. You need to learn. So, Sangam Adhityaiva, along with the Vedangas, when a Adhyayi completes his learning of the Vedas, Adhyanam of the Vedas, he only Brahmaloke Mahiyate, gets all the pleasures in the Brahmaloka. The Veda is described as a living body whose limbs are the 6 Vedangas. So just consider the Veda Mata, complete Veda Purusha is standing. Each and every parts are the angas, are the limbs. The Chandas, the prosody, is said to be the feet of the Veda. Chandaf padau tu vedasya. Then the Kalpa, the ritual practices are the hands. The Jyotisha, astronomy or astrology is regarded as the eyes. Niruktam shrotramuchyate. Nirukta is the etymology that stands as the ears of the Veda Purusha. Siksha, the phonetics, is the nose of the Veda. And Vyakarana, grammar, is considered its mouth. Therefore, one who studies the Veda along with all its limbs, so it is not, it should not be stopped only by learning the Vedas. Yes, Adhyayi is supposed to learn these 6 Vedangas also. When he does, then only he is honored in the world of the Brahman. So let us discuss here the Siksha and Chandas. These both angas, what it deals with. These Siksha and Chandas are the aids for the reading and recitation of the Vedas. Then Siksha is a phonetics, Chandas is the prosody, that Vrittam. So these both helps us for reading correctly and reciting the Vedas. And Vyakaranam Niruktam, these both helps us for understanding the Vedas. Jyotisham and Kalpa for putting into practice the knowledge gained. So these all angas are helping us for implementation of all the Vaidhika Anushtanams. So Brahmanena, Nishkarano Dharmo, Dharmaha, Shadangaha, Vedaha, Adhyeyaha, Agnyeyasha, Mahabhashya makes us the person. It insists, it is mandatory for a Brahmana to learn all the Vedas with these 6 angas. Nishkaranena, without any condition, he is supposed to learn the Vedas. It is a duty. Let us discuss each Angas. First take the phonetics. What the Siksha says? The Siksha or phonetics is closely connected with the Samhita of the Vedas. They contain the instructions for the correct pronunciation and accentuation of Samhita mantras. Samhita mantras is wide. So how to do the right pronunciation of all? So it contains the instruction, that gives the instruction. Siksha helps us for the correct pronunciation of the Veda mantras. Siksha has 6 chapters. That Siksha Anga is that dealing with the letters, vowels and consonants, accents, measure, then Rasva, Dirgha, Pluta, then Rasvaswara, Dirghaswara, Udata, Anudata, Swarita, all those efforts, the avoidance of any fault in uttering and euphonic combinations are Sandhi. So where to split the word Padacheda, there the Padam should not be split without meaning. So with right meaning, with the right Sandhi supposed to be done there. Siksha is giving the guidelines for all the right pronunciation of all the words, Rasva, Dirgha, Pluta, Udata, Anudata, Swarita, then how to give the accent there. So everything Siksha deals with. Siksha is dealt within the works called Pratishakyam, which, as their name implies, were each connected with a particular essentials of the Vedas. Pratishakyam is a grammatical tool that helps us to understand the accent, the tone, how to do the pronunciation of all the Veda mantras, in which matras the Pratishakyams are helping us. Pratishakyani contains clear traces foretelling their influence on the growth and development of the grammatical studies. It's a grammatical tool, not completely discuss about the padas as in the Panini Vyakaranam does. The Pratishakyams helps us to understand even better more about the pronunciation ways. Taittiriya Aranyakam mentions Siksha as a subject which even then dealt with letters, accents, quantity pronunciation and euphonic rules. That Siksham Vyakya Syamaha Varnaswaraha Matra Balam Samasantanaha Ityuktasi Iksha Dhyayaha. These Siksha Granthas are giving us the knowledge how to deal with the letters, accents and the pronunciation, where to give the right pitch, the tone, the accent. So all deals with the pronunciation. So completely it gives the phonetics knowledge so that the Veda mantras are properly chanted and right pronunciation it is ensuring. So many Siksha Granthas are there. Yajnavalkya Shiksha, Vasishti Shiksha, Katyayani Shiksha, Parashari Shiksha, Naradi Shiksha, Saunakiya Shiksha, Gautami Shiksha and Panini Shiksha. The prominent Siksha works, these Siksha Granthas helps us to understand the Vedanga, that is the Siksha Grantha, very well. Next comes Mukham, Vyakaranam, Smritam. Vyakaranam is there. Vyakaranam, so is a grammar. So grammar is very important for all the languages. For our Sanskritam also the grammar is very important. This Vyakarana or grammar treats of base, affixes and suffixes. Prakriti Pratyayam. The reading and understanding of the Vedas required a correct idea of the use of words in their proper senses. So proper sense also needed here to understand how it must be used in a right way. The origin of the grammatical studies is to be traced to the Pratishakyani. Already the Pratishakya Grantha simultaneously helps the both. There it's a grammatical tool which helps in Siksha as well as for the pronunciation there, and for here in the grammatical tool helps here in the grammar part also. The earliest text on grammar now is available is the Ashtadhyayi of Panini. So many grammar works were there at the beginning time. Aindram, Chandram, Kashakritsnam, Abhishalam, Shakatayanam, likely Nava Vyakaranams were there. Now only one Vyakaranam, that is Panini Vyakaranam, is available. Many grammarians like Shakatayana, Gargya, Shakalya, Yaska have worked for the development of the grammar. Many rishis, they have contributed for the grammar. Unfortunately, the works of these authors are not available now. At present, many people say the Ajabakshanam happened. That's why Panini Vyakaranam, which is available at present. There the Shakatayana grammarian held the view that the nouns were derived from the verbs, which is accepted. Panini also accepting the same. All the nouns are derived from a verb only, a root. So root verbs are very important, which from where the derivation of all the nouns are happening. Then Yaska and Panini followed him, the Shakatayana. The whole system of Panini is based on theory of the verbal origin of the nouns. So verbal origin, all the nouns are having the origin in the verbs. The root verbs are there. For example, Pat Dhatu is there. That comes as Patati, Patataha, Patanti. Pat is the root. Ramukridayam Dhatu Ramante. Then there the Rama Shabda also derived. Likely many derivation we can say from there only the word came. So the origin, the verbal origin, we can find Panini is giving that ideas to us. Ashtadhyayi of Panini deals with the grammar of Vedic language as well as the spoken language Bhasha. So as a spoken language, now in our classical Sanskrit way, in the method we are speaking, because of the Panini Maharishi who gave many root verbs for us, many derivation, then following the grammatical system of the Panini Maharishi, still we are speaking good Sanskritam. The existence of the Samskrita Bhasha because of his grammatical system which he made. The Sanskrit grammarians of India were the first to study how words are formed. They discovered the difference between the root and the suffix, explained what suffixes do, what are the works of Prakriti and Pratyaya, and created a grammar system that was so clear and detailed that no other country had anything like it. So our Indian grammatical system is very strong. There are 9 traditional grammarians, 9 grammars, Aindram, Chandram, Kashakritsam, Kaumaram, Shakatayanam, Saraswatam, Chapishalam, Shakalam, Paniniyakam. So 9 grammars were there. Of the 9 traditional Sanskrit grammars, Navavyakaranams, only Panini grammar is still available and studied today. The 3 scholars made exceptional contribution of Sanskrit grammar we use now. They are Panini, Vakyakaram, Varadachim, Bhashyakaram, Patanjalim, Paninim, Sutrakaram cha Pranatos Munitrayam. There the Panini Maharishi, he did the Ashtadhyayi Sutras. Nrita Vasane Nataraja Rajaha Nanada Dakkam Nava Panchavaram. When Nrita Nataraja Raja Nanada Dakkam Nanada, from the Damaru the sound came. Then that only came as Likely Maheshwara Sutrani came, then keeping that Maheshwara Sutrani and completely influenced by the Damaru's sound, this Panini Maharishi observed those Maheshwara Sutrani, keeping that he made Ashtadhyayi, the sutras, Vyakarana Sutras. So Panini composed the Ashtadhyayi Sutras, then Vararuchi who wrote the explanatory notes, the Vritti on them, and the Maharishi Patanjali later added a famous commentary known as the Mahabhashya. So 9 grammars were there. Now at present only the Panini grammar is available. Then is there any learner of all? Means all Navavyakaranams have been learnt by our Hanuman. The god Hanuman is known as Navavyakarana Panditaya Namaha. He is a Navavyakarana Pandita. Still is a Chiranjeevi and still exists in this world, the only person who knew the 9 Vyakaranams. Rest we are learning just only 1 Vyakaranam of Panini Maharishi. Patanjali had stressed the need of the study of Vyakarana. He gives Sasmad Adhyayam Vyakaranam Rakshohagama Lagva Sandeha Prayojanam. What are the Prayojanam? So, Prayojanam Anuddishya Namandopi Pravartate. Without any benefit, nobody begins the work. So, what is the need of learning the Vyakaranam? Patanjali has listed out what are the benefits one can gain after learning this Vyakaranam. So the study of Vyakarana, as he mentioned, many purposes. According to the Mahabhashya, Paspashanika, grammar must be studied for several reasons. Raksha, Uha, Agama, Lagu, Asandeha, Prayojanam. So this Mahabhashya explains the grammar must be studied because it protects the Vedas, helps a person correctly modify and use Vedic mantras, and is the most important of the 6 Vedic disciplines. It also makes learning words easier and removes doubts in understanding meanings and accents. Thus, grammar is essential for the proper preservations and interpretation of Vedas. So grammatical system is a very strict system which helps us to understand and completely removing all our doubts, because the rule is there. Once we follow the rule, then automatically all other doubts are automatically clarified, and we can understand the right meaning, and with the right interpretation also we can do with the help of the Vyakaranam. Next comes the Chanda. Then Chanda Padaut Vedasya, the Chanda is known as the feet of the Vedas, both legs, this meter. Chandas are prosody deals with the Vedic meters and the rules applicable to them. Chandas refers to the study of the poetic meter in Sanskrit literature. It is one of the 6 Vedangas and focus on the rhythmic patterns that govern the structure of verses in the Vedas and classical Sanskrit poetry. In classical Sanskrit poetry also the Padyam is there, many Anushtup shlokas are there. Agnimile Purohitam Yajnasa Devritijam Hotaram Ratnadhatamam. Likely it looks like a shloka laid, but the Vaidhika Chandas and Lokika Chandas both are totally different, and that makes us this Chandas, the learning of this Chandas, the meters, helps us to identify each and every Padyam and understanding the Vaidika Padyam and the Laukika Padyam, the Sanskrit poetry, classical Sanskrit poetry. When it comes to the mantra, we need to identify the Chandas also, because the Rishi Chandas Devata, which are very, very important. And whether it's a Vaidika Chandas, Aryadi, Gayatri, Ushnik, Anushtup, Trishtup, Brihati, Pankti, Jagati, all those Vaidika Chandas, and Ardha Samavrita, Vasanta Vedika, Vasanta Ilaka, all other Shardula Vikriditam from in the Samavrita, all the aksharas, even the Gayatri Chandas. Also in the Sanskrit, classical Sanskrit poetry also, we can easily differentiate after learning, after having this Chandagyanam only one can do, and he can even compose in the Sanskrit, classical Sanskrit literature, and he can identify, after learning the Chandas Shastram, one can even identify, even in the Veda mantras, which Chandas are applied. Since Veda mantras are set in a meter, their correct pronunciation requires knowledge of their meter, because the pronunciation purpose also one must know about in which meter that Padyam or the Veda mantra is available. Rigveda Pradishakyam and Nidana Sutram belonging to the Samaveda deal with the nature of rules of Vedic meters. Also some more works are there made available in this Chandas work. The Nidana Sutras in 10 sections explain the nature and the names of Vedic meters and contain an index to the meters of the Vedic mantras. The Chandas Sutra of Pingala, which are available as the Panini is available in the Sutra format. Alpaksharam Masandigdham Saravad Dishwatomukam Astobham Manavadyam Cha Sutram Sutra Vidovida, like a small formulae which gives the deep meaning. The expansion of each sutras are very big. There the Chandas Sutra is available, which is available in the Sutra format, written by the Pingala, is well-known work on the meters that deals with the Vedic meters and also post-Vedic prosody. By organizing syllables into specific quantitative patterns, Chandas ensures harmony, precisions, and musicality in recitations. If it's a poem, it's a song, or in a padyam, how charmingly if it is recited, that attracts all. Veda mantras, whether it's in a Vaidika Chandas or the Laukika Chandas, both are very attractive when the perfect pronunciation and the rhythm and the musicality and the right recitation is being done. It also plays a key role in preserving the oral tradition and of the ancient texts, helping maintain their exact pronunciation and rhythm across generations. Next comes the Niruktam. Niruktam Shrotramuchyate. Niruktam etymology. What it does? The Niruktam represents the early attempts made to interpret the Vedas. So this Niruktam helps us to understand by interpreting and understanding the exact meaning of each and every words of the Vedas. Niruchyate nisheshena upadishyate nirvachana vidhaya tattad arthabodhanaya padajatam yattat niruktam. Niruktam deals with the etymology and interpretation of Sanskrit words. What it does? It explains difficult or obscure terms found in the Vedas by tracing their roots and original meanings. Many words are there which are very complex, and identifying the meaning of the Veda mantras and the words which are used in the Vedas, that's very complex, and we need to identify the terminology which are applied there to trace its different meaning, what the exact meaning. The Niruktam only helps us by tracing the roots and its original meaning. The Nirukta helps us, and Niruktam helps clarify the context, intent, and the deeper significance of Veda mantras, making it essential for accurate understanding and linguistic analysis. So for the linguistic analysis, for that purpose, as well as the exact meaning, deriving the exact meaning, catching the exact meaning, this Nirukta helps us. What are the works are done in this Nirukta Anga means the earliest known text is Nirukta of Yaska. So Yaska Maharishi, who is the author of this Nirukta before 800 BC, he refers to some earlier works of Nirukta by Aupamanyava, Udumbarayana, Gargya, Galava, etc., which are not even available to him. But he just mentioning those. But what at present available is that Niruktam of Yaska, which we are referring, and the Nirukta explains words selected from the Vedas which are grouped into three classes. Naiguntuka Kandam, containing a list of Vedic words which are synonyms. So many, as we are having the Amarakosham where we can see all the Paryaya Padas, this Niruktam also having such work where for a single word we can find many meanings. Paryaya Padams, Naiguntuka Kandam, containing a list of Vedic words which are synonyms, and Naigama Kandam, containing a list of ambiguous and difficult words. All those complex words, all those terminology are available in the Naigama Kandam, and Devata Kandam, containing a list of names of deities occupying the sky, earth, and heaven. So in the Devata Kandam only, the three types of Devatas, Antarikshasthana Devata, Prithvisthani Devata, and Devsthani Devata, all the Devatas' names are available in the Devata Kandam. So the Nirukta helps us for the exact understanding of the meaning. Next comes the etymology. Next comes the Jyotisham, this astrology. Jyotisham ayanam chakshuhu. Jyotisha is known as the eye of, because Veda Vihita Karma Anushtanam, if supposed to be done, means we need to know when to do that. This Jyotisham helps us at this time you need to perform this yaga and yajna, this karma need to be done in this day, while the planetary positions are there in this manner, you can perform this yaga and yajna. Jyotisha as astronomy or astrology treats of auspicious and inauspicious times for starting all religious rites. It only helps us. Even we always look at the auspicious time for beginning a work, new work. So which we need to follow? We need to follow the Panchangam. The Jyotisham helps us, which is the one of the Anga of the Veda, that helps us. So this also deals with the motion of the earth and other planets, the planetary movements. Jyotisha, through Jyotisha we can identify and understand. Jyotisham arose as a supplement Vedanga to serve the urgent needs of sacrifices. The sacrifices and other rituals are to be performed on days and hours fixed after calculating the movements of the sun and the moon. So Sauramana and Chandramana both are there. Those who follow the movements of the Sauramana, the sun, accordingly the rituals are performed in the daylight, and those who are following the Chandramana according to the movement and of the moon, there all the works are, the rituals are being performed in the night. So many things are there, Sivara, Yoga, Nakshatra, Karanam. So this helps us. References are found in the standard treatises on the lunar and solar astronomical calculations and to the intercalary month. Jyotisham guides the calculation of time, celestial movements and ritual calendars. It helps us. If you are supposed to perform the yaga, then which is the auspicious time for it? When you need to start that work? What are the planetary combinations are auspicious for that yaga, so that the yajna without any obstacles it will accomplish, it will end successfully. For gaining such success, we need to always refer the planetary movements and the auspicious time. It provides methods for determining auspicious timings, muhurtas, tracking planetary positions and organizing the Vedic sacrifices according to seasonal cycles. So the rutus are there, the 6 rutus are there. Accordingly, for all the rutus, what are the works need to be performed, what are the yaga yajnas need to be performed, which muhurta need to be fixed. Even our samskaras, shodasa samskaras, upanayana samskara, then vivaha, the muhurta is being fixed based on the planetary movements and finding the right auspicious time for both Varan and Vadhu. It's very important that Jyotisham helps us to perform all the Vedic sacrifices according to the seasonal cycles. By observing the sun, moon and stars, Jyotisham ensured that ancient rituals were performed in harmony with cosmic rhythms. It also laid the foundation for traditional Indian astrological knowledge and timekeeping. So everything, sarvadharah kalaha, we say everything is time. The time is there, bhutam, bhavyam, bhavishyat, vartamanam and bhavishyat. So everything is happening because of the time, it's already fixed, we say. So for the time, it is important to know about the Kala Vidhana Shastram, the Jyotisham, which is Anga of the Veda, that must be learned by all the Adhyayis. A work called Jyotisha Vedanga of unknown authorship has 43 verses attached to the Yajurveda. In Yajurveda itself, for each Veda, the Jyotisha Bhaga is available there itself, and 36 verses attached to Rigveda. So 43 to Yajurveda and 36 verses are there in the Jyotisha Vedanga attached to the Rigveda. The 4 Vedas had their separate Jyotisha, but the top of the Samaveda is now lost. So for the 3 Vedas, the Jyotisha Vedanga is there. See, Rigveda, Archa Jyotisham, 36 mantras are there. Yajurveda, Yadusha Jyotisham, 39 mantras are there. Atharvana Veda, there the Jyotisham which is available in the Veda itself known as Atharvana Jyotisham, 162 mantras are available. All these 3 works are attributed to one author called Acharya Lagadha Muni. वेदोहि यज्ञार्थम अभिप्रवृत्ताः कालानुपूर्वा विहितश्च यज्ञाः तस्मादिदं कालविधानशास्त्रं यो ज्योतिषं वेद स वेद यज्ञान्. One who knows the Jyotisham, he knows the Veda very well, and Veda Vihita Karmanushtanam he can do well after knowing the right time of performing all the yagas and yajnas. vinaytadakhilam shrotam smartam karmana siddhyati tasmat jagadhita yedam brahmana nirmitam pura. Vina etad akhilam shrotam smartam. The shrota karma, smarta karma need to be performed. All the paka yajna, havir yajna, stoma yajna, all those things need to be performed means without time, without knowing the planetary positions and auspicious time, all are easily, it will end successfully. Tasmat jagadhitaya, for the sake of the world, brahmana nirmitam, Brahma himself made this Jyotish Shastram. Atayeva dvijaihi etat adhyetavyam prayatnataha. Narada says, dvijaihi adhyetavyam prayatnataha adhyetavyam etat. We need to put effort to learn this Jyotish Shastram for this purpose, to know the auspicious time for performing all the Veda Vihita Karmanushtanams. The Jyotish Shastra of the post-Vedic period is a continuation and development of Vedanga Jyotisham. Later, in the period of Siddhanta Jyotisham, Jyotish Shastra was called Triskandha. The three parts are there: Siddhanta, Jyotisham, Samhita and Hora. Siddhanta Samhita Hora Rupam Skandhatrayatmakam Vedasya Nirmalam Chakshu Jyotish Shastramanuttamam. In Siddhanta Jyotisha, there are the lunar and solar astronomical calculations completely based on the max. So there is a shloka, very popular shloka, Yatha Shikha Mayuranam Naganam Manayo Yatha Tadvad Vedanga Shastranam Ganitam Murdhani Sthitham. Yatha Shikha Mayuranam, as the peacocks are having a crown at the top of the head. Also Nagana Manayo Yatha, all the snakes, the old snakes which are carrying the gem, the manikyam at the top of the head, the venom itself transforms as that ruby. Tadvat, like Vedanga Shastranam, among all the Vedanga Shastras like Kalpa, Vyakaranam, Niruktam, Chandas, for all the Vedangas, Ganitam Murdhini Sthitam, this Ganita Shastram, also known as the Jyotisha Shastram, stays at the top. Then it comes the Kalpa Sutram. We have Kalpa Puja in our rituals, in our daily household pujas according to the seasons which we do, and the puja is known as the Kalpa Puja. Kalpa Puja means what? That ceremonial rites which need to be performed in a household level. It starts from the Brahmacharya Ashrama onwards till the Grihastha Ashrama, all the pujas which we are following. If we take Brahmachari, Nitya Samitadhanam, Sandhya Vandana Samitadhadi, Swadhyaya Karmas are assigned, but Grihastha Ashrama, he is supposed to do the performance of all the rites, Upasanam and Sandhyavandanad Nitya Karmas, Upasanam and the Naimitika Karma, all the Sankramana Tarpanam and the Amavasya Tarpanam, and he need to perform all the Samskaras also. So the Kalpa are popularly known as the Kalpa Sutras, gather together mantras found in the different samhitas of different schools of the Vedas to be applied to a particular ceremony. So any ceremony, then Kalpa Sutram helps us to follow the right way, the right approach. The origin of a Kalpa is to be traced to the Brahmanas. Kalpa refers to the body of text that laid down the rules and procedures for the Vedic rituals. The long and tedious explanations could not be remembered at the time of performance of the sacred rites. Hence, the Sutra style was adopted for treating this subject. So, all these Kalpa Sutras are available in 4 sutras, in a sutras formulae way. The Kalpa provides detailed guidelines on how sacrifices, ceremonies and sacred rites should be performed, ensuring they are conducted with precision and adherence to tradition. Here, all our household rituals which are being performed, if any doubts arises, then the Kalpa Sutra must be referred to perform rightly in that sacred rites. The subject matter of Kalpa Sutras is classified into 4: Shrauta Sutram, Grihya Sutram, Dharma Sutram and Shulba Sutram. The Shrauta Sutram, what it does? The Shrauta Sutras treat the worship of 3 fires: Dakshinagni, Gargapatyagni and Ahavaniyagni. The performance of Drishapurnamasa Yaga and Somayagya and other rites. So Agnihotram onwards, we need to know Dakshinagni, that Agni, the 3 Agnis are there, need to be protected. From that Agni, all should be taken, and all other big yagas need to be performed. Then Grihya Sutram, we know Grihya Sutram in our household ceremonies need to be followed strictly. The Grihya Sutras deal with all the popular customs and ceremonies from Garbhadhanam Upanayanam to Upanayanam. The duties of 3 castes, Raivannikas, are explained in the Grihya Sutram. If I belong to Yajurveda, means Yajurveda Apastamba Grihya Sutram is there and Bodhayana Grihya Sutram is there. I follow the Bodhayana, means then all the household ceremonies supposed to be followed. The Bodhayana Sutra, as per the rituals, supposed to be followed as the Bodhayana instructed in this Grihya Sutram. As a brahmachari in Grihastha, the duties of a teacher, of a people, and the marriage customs, the Pancha Maha Yajnas, Panchava Yete Maha Yajna, Deva Yajna, Pitri Yajna, Bhuta Yajna, Manusha Yajna. Likely, Dru Yajna, all the yajnas, the sacrifices, the funeral ceremonies, and so many other things that are to be performed by a Grihastha, all are mentioned in the Grihya Sutram. Dharma Sutram, the Dharma Sutras deal with law, religion, custom and usage, the duties of the 4 castes and the orders, ashrama in life. And these come under the classification of Smriti. Dharma Sutra only gives us the rule, which are the duties it assigns us, and we need to follow that dharma. And comes Shulba Sutram. The Shulba Sutras are practical manuals giving the measurements necessary for the construction of the Vedi and the altars. And the Yaga Yajna, Kundams are very, very important, in which shape it must be there, so that the Yaga can be performed, the offerings can be given in the sacred fire. So in which measurement, the geometrical measurements, completely the Shulba Sutras helps. They show an advanced knowledge of geometry and constitute of the oldest Indian mathematical works. That in the Grihya Sutra, Pancha Maha Yajnas are there. Let us discuss. Very shortly we will finish this. Panchava Yete Maha Yajna Satati Pradayante Satatandishtante Deva Yajna Pitri Yajna Bhuta Yajna Manusha Yajna Brahma Yajna. So Deva Yajna, a man, a Grihastha man, he is supposed to worship or offering made to the gods, showing gratitude to the divine forces. Deva Yajna. Every day Deva Yajna, the Deva Pujas, Aradhanam supposed to be done. And Pitri Yajna. Pitri Yajna means what? Offerings, the rites performed for ancestors, honoring and remembering forefathers. Pitri Yajna, how can we do the Pitri Yajna? By performing the Pitru Tarpanam and the Shraddha Karmas. Bhuta Yajnam, show kindness and offering food of care to all living beings such as animals, birds and nature, all creatures. So every day a man supposed to perform not only Devata Radhanam, not only Pitru Pujanam, and he is supposed to do the Bhuta Yajnam, feeding all the creatures. Need to give all the animals, you need to keep the food for the birds, for the animals, for all the creatures. Next comes Manusha Yajnam. He is supposed to feed a man. Service and hospitality to fellow humans. Helping guests. If any guest comes, we are giving hospitality to them and we are feeding them. That is the Yajna. That is considered as the great Yajna. And the society. Manusha Yajna need to be done. And Brahma Yajnam, it's a Swadhyaya. Study, teaching and preservation of sacred knowledge and scriptures. So these are all the duties are assigned. It must be done every day by a Grihastha, which are completely instructed in the Grihya Sutra. As per the Grihya Sutra, he need to perform. The Shrauta Sutras and Grihya Sutras contain the rule for the conduct of the rituals and also the use of Viniyoga or the prayers and formulas in the performance of the sacred rites. Each Kalpa Sutra is attached to a particular Veda. So Rigveda, if we see, Shankayana Kalpasutram, Ashlayana Kalpasutram, Shambhavya Grihya Sutram is available, and Yajurveda, Bodhayana, Apastamba, Manavasrotra, Vaikhanasa Srota Sutram, and Paraskara Grihya Sutram. Samaveda, if we take Arsheya Kalpam, Atyayana Srota Sutram, Grahyana Sutra Grihya Sutram, Gobila Grihya Sutram is there, Atharva Veda, Vaitana Grihya Sutram, Kaushik Grihya Sutram. So these Kalpasutras makes us to understand then all the rituals, how supposed to be performed, and what are the Vinyoga, where we need to apply our Vinyoga of all the prayers and the formulas in the performance of Yaga Yajnas. So Kalpasutra helps us to do our all sacred rites correctly. Thus, we have seen all the Yajnas, all the Shadangas, which are very, very important. And Vedas, Asmat Sangamadidhyeva, Adhyenam of a Veda is supposed to be done by learning all the Vedas itself, not sufficient. One is supposed to know the Vedangas also, then only he can gain that Brahmajnanam. Thus we finish here. Dhanyavadaha, Namo Namaha.